the conversation, but tonight is a twist. We're not only having conversation, we're having conversation with cocktails. So if you haven't went and gotten your drink yet, this is your time to take 30 seconds. Can't take a whole lot of time because you got to get back here. I don't want you to miss anything. But as you can see, I've already poured my cocktail, so I'm ready to talk. So we're going to be talking to some amazing people. These are some of my good friends, some people I love to go to, some people I think highly of. And I would not have them here talking if I didn't believe they had something valuable to bring to the conversation. So I'm going to introduce everybody. First of all, we have Miss Bo Talley-Williams. So make sure I put her last name on the back. That's a married lady, okay? She's married. She's beautiful. She is an influencer of everything, social media, national, international. She's an amazing person. And again, she's married. So I know Bo has something amazing to bring to the show. So welcome, Bo.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Thank you. Next, we have one of my favorite people as well, the beautiful Christal Jordan from Rolling Out Magazine. And that's just not only her title. Christal is doing everything on social media. You catch her doing relationship topics, entertainment, everything. She's a mogul in her own right. And I was like, look, Christal, you got to come and sit with me and have a conversation. So, hi, Christal.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Thank you for joining me. Got your drink? You got your drink?
Already
Okay. Next, I have, this guy has been one of my favorites for a long time when it comes to conversations, when it comes to relationship, when it comes to dating. We met because we do the same things. I've been super impressed with who he is. He has a book called Understanding the Man, and he really does this without bias. I mean, he brings real stuff. Sometimes we don't agree, but he's a man. So who am I to say? You know what I'm saying? You guys welcome Elam B. King. Hi, Elam.
What up? What up? Now we normally do agree though. We normally agree.
Most of the times we do. We don't have too many disagreements. We really don't. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And last but not least, one of my he's a person that came on the scene not too long ago. And I'm not gonna tell you how we met because that would be funny, but because he when we met, we just connected so well. And he has a new dating app that's coming out called Third Date. And we've talked relationship talk so much. He's a single man, he's on the scene, he's handsome. And so I had to bring on this Third Date guy. Hi,
Fredrick. Yo. I got my glass. Stop trying to be plush.
Okay. I greatly appreciate it. So you guys, thank you for coming to sit with me today. Thank you for joining the conversation with cocktails. This is just an introduction to the conversation that's going to be airing starting March 4th every Thursday at 8 o'clock. But because you guys mean so much to me and I think so much of you, when this subject came up, I had to have this conversation. So can we get into it, y'all?
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
All right. So the big thing for Valentine's Day and afterwards was this B. Simone clip that was on the internet that was buzzing, right? Everybody was going all off about B. Simone. And what she was talking about is about ladies having a list. So I want to play the clip, let you guys see it, a little bit of it, and then go into why this was an important topic for me. Oh, well, we're going to keep while we're pulling the clip. Now I'll keep talking. He'll let me know when he's got it. You got it? We ready? No, we're not ready. Okay. I can cut that out, y'all. But so cool. in this conversation, she's talking about women having this long list, but what she goes on to continue to say is women have this list, but they don't meet half the requirements that are on the list. So I'm like, I wonder, is our list keeping us single? And not only just for women though, because women, yes, we do have a list, but men have a list too. And sometimes I think men's lists are more unrealistic than ours are, considering what they bring into the table too. So I thought this will be an excellent time to have the conversation about, are the lists that we're having keeping us single? So while we get that done, I just want to know, you guys somebody tell me, Christal, let's talk about the list and what, your friends and the list that you have. Do you feel like the list is keeping you single or keeping some of us single?
It's an interesting question. I think that yes, a lot of times women's lists do keep them single. My list probably kept me single for a really long time, but usually the list is a person, male or female's way of putting up a defense because they're trying to protect their heart. Now, I have to go back and say the problem that I have with B. Simone's statement and even sometimes Kevin Samuel's statements,
we'll talk about him.
For people to say that women's lists are long and they don't meet the same list, to me that's a really moot point, because men and women are not looking for the same things in a partner for the most part. I have a lot of guy friends and I have a lot of female friends, and the things that are important to men are not the same things that are important to female. I think men are naturally looking for someone that is nurturing, that is peaceful, that is beautiful, youthful, makes him feel good. Women are definitely looking for someone that makes them feel secure, safe, protected. We don't look for the same things. A man will go to a restaurant, see a waitress behind the bar, think she's beautiful, I like her conversation, I would love to make her my wife. Very rarely is a woman of means doing the same thing. So I think to say, well, you don't fit the list you want, I'm not looking for another woman, I'm looking for a man. So I think I should bring something to the table, but I don't think that we're always looking for the same things. But with that being said, I do think that people put too much emphasis on things that are not important, and that's just a way of keeping themselves safe, which is a wall that needs to come down.
Fredrick, when you're dating, if you're on the dating scene, do you go meet a lot of women who have this whole list and want to run down this list for you as soon as you guys sit at the table? And then what about your list?
I don't run into that problem. I think because of my efforts to build my communication skills leading up to a date. So a lot of times I'm guiding or leading that conversation, giving them the opportunity, of course, to say what they want, to express what they want. But as I'm talking, I can kind of feel, it seems like I can just kind of dissect that through their answers and through their responses, what they're actually looking for. And if and I like to do that, because if I see what they're looking for is not me, I can automatically take myself out the equation and be in control of that. I do have a list. My list is not real complicated at all. It starts, first thing on my list is confidence. I'm a sapiosexual, however you pronounce it. I'm that person where if what they're saying and the things they're saying and speaking, if they're intelligent, I'm going to be attracted to you. I'm going to be attracted to you. Now, there are some things that I need to add up, and they all need to come together and be like this simultaneously magical thing that happens, because I still have some more things on the list. Intelligence is one of them. I said confidence, intelligence, humor, a smile, and a booty. And that's just being realistic. So, I gotta have all of them. Ambition. Ambition used to be on there. Ambition used to be on, and ambition still is important.
Ain't nothing wrong. Hey, Fred, don't let them say. Ain't nothing wrong with that list right there, sir. There ain't nothing wrong with that one. That's what you want.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna play this clip, and I'm gonna see what we know. There's nothing wrong if you want a big booty. That's okay. Might not get you everything you want, but that's your list. Let's play this clip.
But I'm going to start a little love challenge. You already know we manifested love all 2021. So, women, the animals out here, bitch.
It's not.
Manifested love. But here's the little challenge. We got all these things we want in a man. A list of things. You gotta be tall, you gotta be dark, you gotta be handsome, you gotta have pretty teeth, you gotta be a family man, you gotta be financially stable, you gotta be rich, you gotta be successful, you gotta be all these things. And we ain't even got the things on that list. You gotta be a family man, your mama in 6 months, but you want him to be a family. They say, well, you're counted in the negative, man. Overdraft fee. He gotta have a job. You need to go fill out some applications because you're still unemployed. You gotta have pretty teeth. You ain't seen the dentist in 6 years. You can't even walk up a flight of stairs without upping and bumping. Get your life together. This whole list that he gotta be. You ain't even half the things on that list. So this is what I challenge you to do. Manifest love all 2021. Make that list of that perfect dream man that you got in your mind. Then, look, what I did, make a list of the type of woman he would need right by his side. You want him to be in shape? You need to get to the gym. Equally up, bitch. You can be a shirt statement. So you can't keep us down until then. Huh? You want him to be a family man? Call your mama. You become a family woman. Heal your trauma before you put all this shit on him. You want him to be patient. This your patience is thin. You want him to be understanding. You the least understanding person in your circle of friends, but you gotta be understanding. Fix you. Fix you. Whatever you want becomes that. Oh, fuck. He gotta be in shape.
So Elam, okay, let's talk about this. Let's address this a little bit, Elam. People are coming to you when they're coming to you for counseling, when they're coming to you with their list. Do you hear this? And what do you say when they come talking to you about the list?
I say a couple of things. The first thing I would have to agree with her that you do need to be at the level of what you're asking for. And it doesn't always have to be, you know, from a financial perspective or something like that. Let's say, for example, all right, you want a man to, you know, spend, you know, let's just say you want him to spend time with you, right? But then you end up linking up with somebody who, because he had a, you know, this great job or whatever, and the responsibilities that comes with that, puts him in a situation where he's not going to be able to provide you the quality time that you're looking for. So quite frankly, you don't even qualify for this man, not because he's a bad guy, not because he doesn't want to spend time with you, but because his purpose and what he's walking in does not coincide with the desires and even something as basic as the love language that you possess. So that would be the first thing, is that whether or not you actually qualify for the type of man that you're looking for. Based upon your list, which speaks to what she's saying of, you know, you kind of basically stepping up and being able to handle that type of person. And I also want to throw, because I believe it was Christal, when she was kind of talking about the list or whatever case it be, and she kind of listed some things, and those were nice things. But unfortunately, some of those other things that be on that list is what can put people in a cancellation, or just not, I won't say cancellation, just that there's some difficulty. For example, you want a man that's 6 foot tall. Okay, that's fine. If that's what you want, that's great. Pack your patience, because you just wiped 83% of the men off the planet.
Right.
Okay? We didn't even say whether he was black. We ain't say whether he was Christian. We ain't say whether he was sane. You know what I'm saying? We didn't even say whether he had a good job. We didn't even say none of that. Right? You know, women. You know, so. You know, you want a man that's 6 figures. Okay, that means you took the 365 million people in this country and dropped it down to 14. That's 7%. That's 7% of the men in this country. Think about it. So we didn't even say again that he was black. We ain't say that whatever the ethnicity that you're looking for. So here's so you can have that list. Just understand that there's a patience level that might come with that. Okay. And so, you know, and everybody can't really be married. I don't know what God has divinely put together for you, but you can have that list. But if it's in divine order for you not to be married. So that's the reason why the walking in your purpose is so important. And, you know, I can go all day about this one, but that's the reason why the walking in your purpose is more important than that list, because then you can be found versus, you know what I'm saying, sitting around and dating, citing this or whatever case it be. You don't even know what's in your divine order. You don't even know your purpose. One of the things that Fred just said a second ago, he's able to have these conversations with these ladies because it sounds like he already has a level of self-awareness. We'll
talk about that. That's a whole nother show, but we got to bring that back. If you're just now joining us, welcome to the Conversation with Cocktails. We are having an amazing time. We thank you for joining us. Go ahead and let people know that you're listening, that you're watching the Cocktails with Conversations. You can share this and you can let them know, hey, this is some good stuff we're talking about over here. So go ahead, share it. This is the Conversation with Cocktails. Now, Bo, when you were getting ready, you're like, look, I'm ready to have me a husband. Was that even, first of all, was that even in your thought process? But even if it was or was not, was there a list, or was there something else that you wanted to measure up what you wanted to have in your life?
No, I didn't think about a list. I'm still trying to understand these lists that these women have, these young ladies have. I really feel like they wreck themselves before they help themselves with these long ass lists. Okay. So when I was in my dating times, it was just, if you were respectful to your mama, then I liked you. You understand? Because I felt like if you respected your mama, you were going to respect me. So that was the only list I had. And if there was a list, but me and my husband, like before marrying my husband, it really, just as long as, again, he was kind, we could communicate, there was an understanding of who we both were, and we respected that, and that worked for us. You understand? And here we are 12, 14 years later. However, I'm just trying to remember when I was younger, trying to date and figure this thing out. I never had a complication with it. I knew what I wanted, and if you didn't have that, that was just, not that I couldn't be your friend, you just weren't going to be my man. Like, we wouldn't have sex, you wouldn't spend no money on me, I wasn't going to cook you a meal, none of that stuff.
Right.
I couldn't communicate with you at all. So if I had a list, it was the mama thing. If you're good to your mama, then you go good to me, be good to me. That was probably the only.
That ain't no list. That's common sense.
Well, okay, so hear about this. Let me keep it on the real with you. You have the husband that everybody wants to have. Okay, you have the husband that's known, that's got the figures, that's everybody feel like that they should have. Now, according to Kevin Samuels, in case you guys don't know, according to Kevin Samuels, there's a certain type of person that can pull this type of husband or this type of man. And that's, they have to have a certain look, certain age, no kids. I mean, according to him, they have to have all this other stuff in order to pull this man. Yet, did you fit, if you've ever listened to him, did you fit all that? Or how do you feel about being able to pull a man of a certain caliber based on who you are?
Well, first off, I'm exited out of all of that because I have children. I came into the relationship with children. Okay, I was divorced and everything and going through a whole bunch of craziness when I met my husband. He should have probably hit the road when he first met me, or he went through with me. I had a stalker the whole nine. I cannot make this up when I met my husband. But that type of man on that type of caliber, I'm not going to even act like it's not easy for me. It's always been that because I've been, I think I'm just a real honest, sweet person. I like to have fun. I'm genuine in my conversations, and it is what it is. Either you're attracted to it or you're not. So I don't know. I mean, I hear people say you got to be this type of woman to pull this type of man. My DNA is Carrie Wellington and Marie Talley Davis. So they just have this aura about them, and I guess it was passed down to me as well. So I don't know. I mean, I guess they like me, or they liked me because I kept myself up. And
okay, bro, because that's what I was going to say now. Let's be real. It ain't like you sitting around here with this belly fat I got on my side or whatever. You fine to help. You know what I'm saying?
So maybe that is why.
Okay, y'all fine. Let's just be real. Is it true that we have to be that type of person?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to say yes. I know people didn't like the delivery of it. Yes, you do have to look a certain type of way in order to pull a certain type of man. Like I know the people didn't like how he said it. Could have been delivered better. But I'm sorry.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. Bo, I didn't know you in your earlier years. I can see from right now, you had no problem in that area.
Okay. Right. Let's all be real here.
I mean, people don't like to say that, but I mean, you can't be a 5 trying to pull a 10. You know how easy? Oh my gosh! Especially, I mean, if you listen, especially in Atlanta.
I mean, men are visual, so
exactly.
Of course, they want the package. They want it to look really good.
And it's not. Go
ahead.
on top of that, like you said, we're a visual purpose. We're a visual people, right? So we're also taught survival instincts. We want to survive. So why would I go get a 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever I feel is beneath me? I hate to say it like that, for lack of better words, beneath me. Why would I go get that? And now I have to worry about competing because now another guy in that area, in that bracket, he can get her too, right? So now I'm competing. Now I open it up for where I'm competing with more. I can't even really protect what I already have. Does that make sense?
There gotta be a certain level in order. Okay, so let me see if I'm getting this. They need to be a certain level, so you know that everybody can't reach them. Is that correct?
Exactly. So for me, like with my brand, I don't want an average dude being able to get my girl. I don't want to even know. Like if I'm with a girl right now and I realize she's with somebody who I felt wasn't on my caliber, or haven't done the things that I've achieved, I haven't achieved the things that I've achieved, I'm already kind of turned off. Because I'm like, what you doing fooling with this? It is kind of like this is an only analogy I know how to use. It's like a used car, right? You can get a used car, but you know that one family that always tear up everything. When it's time to buy a car and you find out that family had it, you don't want it no more. But if you know families that had it, that take care of their things, you're more, you know what I'm saying, you're more accepting of that car. So it's kind of the same thing. I've seen several women, or I've been involved with several women who I've seen people she dated in the past, and I don't want no parts of that.
Oh,
like, what do
you think about this? Like, this is what you think about Kevin. What do you think about what Fredrick is saying? Like,
I appreciate the fact that these are guys that are keeping it real, because this is what I hear from guy friends is like, men judge women based on the other men that they've entertained. One of my friends said today, if I'm putting her on a pedestal and then I go out with her and I see that she's dated all these other bum guys, I'm taking her off that pedestal. You obviously don't belong there. I think I disagree with. I believe that women should have a list. I think that you have to check what's on your list. I remember, like I said, my list was very long. I will not embarrass myself and share that with you guys. But at first, my list, I went through a divorce. I was heartbroken, and my list was ridiculously long. And I went when I've been a publicist for years, and when Chili was doing What Chili Wants, she and I are good friends. She and I went to a matchmaker secretly to talk and see, because we knew she was gonna be doing the show. And one of the things that came up was her list. This was years ago. And the matchmaker asked me my list, and I told her I want him to be like 6'3". And she was like, "How tall are you?" "I'm 5'2". She was like, "Well, why do you need all those inches?" I was like, I just like it, but like you said, that's 7%, which hurt my feelings. 7% of men, period. That's not even including African American men. So that's not important. The height is not important. Character is, lifestyle is. Those type of things are important, and I don't think you should take those things off your list and just be open to anything because you're not going to be happy. I kept my list, but I was patient, and now I'm engaged to a man that fits everything that I asked God for that was important on my list.
Hey, so, congratulations on your engagement. Yay!
Congratulations.
I don't think that women should ever just settle for anything because they're getting older or they have children. Right. I do think that you should always put your best self forward, but you have to be realistic. The things that Kevin Samuel says, men say. They really do. So you can't be expecting to get a guy that is going to allow you to just lay up and look pretty every day if you don't already look pretty. You know what I mean?
Period.
Come on.
So it's basically his delivery and not the message, because some of the things I can agree with.
I agree.
What I don't agree with is that how these women feel like that they got to go to him, to me. But I guess, you go to the man and find out what the men want. But I don't think he does. Maybe with a certain caliber of men, he gives maybe close the right answers. But sometimes it's all about looks. For men, okay, so
but
I'm going to ask, how much about looks is it really? That's what I want to know.
Women are saying that the problem is all about looks. these women are saying they want high earning men. They want men that make over 6 figures.
Yeah.
So when you are being superficial in your intent, then you are going to receive superficial in what you receive. So if you are only looking for a man that makes a certain amount, that's the only thing you want. And I'm in a couple of groups on here with girls that are looking for high earning men.
Mhm.
Then you cannot be upset when those high earning men are also looking for youth and beauty. It is what it is.
And it goes hand in hand, and it goes together. You have to take what comes with the type of man that you're trying to subscribe for. That's why he always says high valued men. He doesn't say blanket men, period. There are some men that do not care about looks. Okay? But and that's why when she started talking about how much she earned, and he was right when he said high earning men, we don't care about how much you make. We don't. So your table to the table does not matter to us.
In fact, it may hurt you because if you put so much focusing on your table, you're not able to cater to him. And I think that's fair because these are women that are coming to the table saying, I don't want to have to pay for anything. I don't want to have to work. I want to be able to keep my money to myself. Well, a man that's open to that, because not all men that make a lot of money are like that, but a lot of them are. Yeah. There's always, nothing is for free. So you want to sit and look pretty all day. You got to be available when he wants you, ready to do whatever he wants. So there has to be a give. And I think Kevin Samuels is a necessary evil because
right. So we're talking about a certain caliber of men and women. Now, when we're speaking of that, we have taken away the celebration of the average man and woman to the point where they don't want to feel average. They don't want to be average. They just want to be looked upon as being special too. But it seems like being average seems to make people feel like they have to settle or below. So can somebody address the word average and dating average and how maybe we should or should not be offended by the term?
Go ahead, Fred.
I'm
trying not to.
No, I understand, and I'm trying to help. But so I think a lot of that comes down to, like I said, my main thing on my list is confidence, self-awareness, self-love, and the idea of knowing yourself. Right. I think when it comes down to even entertaining an average or this status, it comes down to how you really think about yourself. Like, I don't care what I'm driving. I don't care what I'm making, what I'm in. I'm going to feel a certain way about myself that's respectable, that's going to allow me to go out and approach anybody I want to approach. So I think when people get caught up in the averages and looking at celebrities or looking at multi-millionaires and how they're spending their money on their significant others or spending time with their significant others, they get lost in that sauce. They get lost in that sauce, and it's a very, very, and that's kind of like we're in a society now where you can't help but to do that unless you have some sense of self-awareness or self-confidence about yourself that will alleviate you from being in that little funnel that takes you down that spiral, because it gets ugly. You trying to compare your $50,000 you make a year, you want to treat your girl like Michael B. Jordan and took a girl to the aquarium and ready. You can put that in front of the fish tank and make some tuna salad down somewhere.
So Elam, go ahead.
No, go ahead with your question.
No. I was gonna. You can go ahead and then I'll ask you. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say some people just need to stay in their lane. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what you look like, and if you don't, then I need you to start going back in front of the mirror and taking a look. Like I know.
Let me drink on that.
I'm an attractive guy.
Huh? I said, let me drink on that one right there.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta know. Here's the thing. I know, unfortunately, some people compare themselves to celebrities and stuff like that. I don't walk around comparing myself to like the Morris Chestnuts of the world. I know I'm a good-looking guy. I know I'm a good income earner. Okay, I know what bracket I'm in, so I know what lane to go for. Does that mean that I'm gonna go for, you know what I'm saying, an A-list actress? Could I do it? Yeah, I could. But you have to know what lane you in. And I think that sometimes, people don't want to pick a struggle, right? You want to live broke, but you want to have a broke mentality up here, but you want to be wealthy, right? Yeah. You want to just eat everything that you want, but you mad at the person who's the size 2. Pick a struggle, you know what I'm saying? And stay in your lane. And if you don't know, that's why you need to go get some counseling so you can figure out who you are and know what lane you need to be in.
Because understand this, I know that I'm an average woman. I mean, I know that I know what I can get though. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I know there's going to be people who don't want a fat roll. I know I have a fupa, but I also know that I'm smart. I know when I dress up, I look pretty good. And so I don't feel like that whoever I'm attracting is going to be, I don't look at me myself and I don't look at them as average. Like you said, I look at somebody that I know, I don't want to say it's in my lane, but quote, in my lane.
I have to say something. And it's so irritating to me. We are in Atlanta, and Atlanta is very celebrity driven. I guess the entire world is at this point with social media. But as a publicist for celebrities for a long time, it's weird that people get so fascinated on things that don't really matter. So if I know there was somebody said your man should buy you a Birkin bag. First of all, nobody can. I mean, who can afford to drop $50,000 on a bag?
Right.
And why would you want him to do that? But how is that going to add to your happiness? Yes, you can go on social media and you can post and you can brag to your friends, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be in a happy, healthy relationship. So are people trying to be in a real relationship, or are they trying to get likes? It just seems to be confused to me, because it's like everybody is focused on, I want a high value man. Do you know how many women I've talked to that are with a man that makes a ton of money and they are home alone by themselves and they're not happy? Not saying that we want a man that's at home broke, because nobody wants that. But I'm just saying, like, sometimes the things that we're focused on for relationships have nothing to do with the actual relationship. I wanted a best friend. I was married before, so I knew how that felt. It felt good to have a best friend. Do I want one that can pick me up and look fly? Yes. But at the end of the day, when it's just he and I in the house, I don't care what the rest of y'all think about us. I don't. Now, that's me. I know there are a lot of people that do, but I think the reality shows and hip hop have everybody confused. And a lot of those people, once they turn their phone down, they're not happy. A lot of people at home aren't happy, but you're never going to be happy trying to get what a rapper or a reality star tells you that you need for a relationship.
If you're just tuning in, I'm sorry, if you're just tuning in, you are listening to the conversation with cocktails. We have an amazing panel. We have the beautiful Christal Jordan is here, the amazing Bo Talley, Elam B. King of relationship counseling, and then we have our new guy who we love the most. His name is Fredrick. He has a dating app called Third Dates, and you guys, we are in here having some serious conversation. Like, my glass needs to be refilled. I can already tell you that right now. But I want you guys to go ahead and share. Go ahead and let people know that you're here. Let them know that this conversation is getting really good, and we have not even touched what we want to touch on, because I'm about to ask a question now that may help us understand where these lists come from. So can somebody tell me how much media, and Christal, you just touched on this, how much does media and social media and all these other things that we're seeing on TV play in the part of what we think we should have or what we think is suitable as a mate?
I feel like, you know what, I have sons, and my 27-year-old son, who lives right here in Texas with me, near me, I feel so sorry for him. He comes to me with conversations about women, and the only things they're looking for is what they see on social media. And I feel so bad for him, because he's such a good young man. He's very handsome, has a good job, has his own place, has his own everything. So when he goes and takes these girls out on a date, the first thing they're asking for is a pair of shoes, or purse, or
so they're really asking for this stuff.
They're really asking for this stuff, and I really feel so bad for him, because I've been out the dating game for years, and when I'm married for a long time, until you do something stupid and then I'm done with you. You know what I mean? I was married to my 4 children's father for years, and then engaged for a long time, for 9 years, and then married the man I'm with today. And just to hear my baby come to me and say, these are the things these young girls are wanting, is so sad. As a mother, sometimes I'm baffled. I know what to say to him, but because of social media and all these different platforms, it's literally ruining his chances to find a really good girl. And it's really bad. It's really bad. So this list and all these requirements, I get what B Simone, is that her name, is saying, and I don't know who the other young man is you all are talking about. I don't know who that is, but I get her list to a degree. I get it. How you gonna, want communication in the guy when you don't even communicate with your damn mama? Like, right. I get some of the stuff she is saying, and I agree with Christal a lot too. It's really sad, unfortunate, and however, maybe the therapist, is it Elam? Elam, maybe you can help me as a mom, or tell me what I need to be saying to my son. I come at him as hard as I think I need to, with the old school values, but it's a whole new way of life. You understand? Like, things are nothing like it was when I was growing up. It's totally different. Nobody respects the parents. No one cares if the son or the daughter likes the mama. I mean, it's just a whole lot of BS going on. So I really want my son to find someone who's going to love him exactly for who he is. And if he broke, she's still going to be there and love him and come up in the struggles with him, because a lot of girls are not doing that. Who's teaching them this? Is it the parents that are showing them not, or is it the social media? It's really sad and unfortunate.
I got a question specific for you, Bo. What does your son's social media look like? What is this, like, the pictures and the images that he shares?
Very professional. He's not even, here's the crazy thing. None of my children they all got private social media. They don't even care for it. I mean, they're on there when they need to be on there for something. But his last post was him in a suit work. You know what I'm saying? He's not posting anything crazy at all. He's not lost in.
They know that his dad is they know what his dad does. And that's probably where that's coming from, unfortunately. I think that there are women that are strategic. And I think what you said, like, a lot of times it is what they're taught. And it is also social media. My son is 23, but when he had a book come out when he was 16. We went to Essence Music Festival and he was doing a book signing. I'm all excited. He's kind of, nervous around all these girls are in line to get the book. And I'll never forget this. A little girl, she probably around 15 or 16. Her mother brought her. She was as cute as she could be. And she was talking to her friends. I guess they didn't know I was his mom. And she said, I would marry him after he turns 30 if he doesn't make me get a prenup, because she saw that he had a book out. And I was like, that type of strategy for someone that young shows that they're being taught that men are being right? Yeah. They're being taught that you're supposed to get over on them. It's not even about the relationship. It's about getting with someone and getting over on them. And I'm definitely not coming down on just women, because I think men play a part in it, because a lot of times men, they will show what.
Exactly. They flaunt it. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And they put it out there like, this is what I got. This is what I have. This is who I am. And this is why I'm valuable. And then when a woman comes for that, then they got a problem with that.
All of us in there hurt, but it's the same thing as when a woman shows her body, and then you get mad when a guy's coming at you. Yeah. Men are visual. You put that out there, now all of a sudden you are appalled that he wants sex.
Exactly.
You're appalled when she wants the money. So I think it's transactional. Money, when girls go after men for money and guys go after women for youth and beauty. You have shown them that's what you're about. That's the best part of me, is the fact that I can spoil you. And you're stupid if you think a girl that's not going to attract those type of women. But I'm just saying, for us as teenagers, these are barely they were like in junior high, just early high school. And to say, I'll be with you if I don't have to sign a prenup after this certain age, then you hear men saying, well, she was fine when she was younger. Now after 2 or 3 kids, she wants to come and make me be a good husband. I don't want to do that. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So, Elam, I'm going to ask you a question, because Christal was saying, she was just saying something like, these young girls, and I guess the guys too, but these young people are being taught at a young age about what they should be looking for, that is materialistic. And it's probably not just social media. It's also their environment or the parenting. Speak to me on that, on when you're having these conversations and when you're counseling, when women are coming to you about their list and what they're looking for. How do you address that and find out how their environment has played a part in creating their list?
I mean, you pretty much you pretty much said it. Your environment does influence your list. It's if we look at the point about generational curses, right? So a lot of people don't know about that when they're looking for a mate, that you should look back into their generation and see what's being passed down. All right, and your parents are one of the first influences, and obviously, just like Jim Rohn said, if I want to know who you are, I'll ask your 5 closest friends, and most likely you're going to be the average of your 4 to 5 closest friends. So who you do associate with, your inner circle, has a lot to do with your upbringing and your thought process. And then also there are social norms that exist out there when it comes to money. It's funny that we were even talking about the money piece that Christal was just talking about, because I was literally just looking at a post on Facebook, and in so many words, it was a meme, and the guy was on a date with who was in the process of dating a girl, and so the girl said, you know what, well, she's not going to have sex, she's going to save herself for marriage. And the guy said, okay, well, that's not a problem. Moving forward, or anytime that we go on dates, we're going to go Dutch. And she said, why? He said, because I'm saving my finances for marriage. Oh. And then the question is he wrong? And so the comments that are flowing in here is, oh, if he said Dutch, I would never. And I said, but if you really think about that, so it's okay for her to say her virtue. That's cool. But if a man turns around and says Dutch, now all of a sudden what? He's less than a man, or he's not taking care of a woman. Why is that? Because it's put out there with regard to, I mean, let's look at Valentine's Day. After Christmas and Thanksgiving comes Mother's Day, then comes Valentine's Day. Okay. Why is that? Because the spending of the money versus on Father's Day is half. It's like 22 billion for Valentine's Day, but for Father's Day is 12 billion. Just like for Mother's Day, it's like 24 billion. Why is that? Because the spending of the money comes from the man than versus the woman. So a lot of times when women are looking for, and I'll give them a piece of this saying that money equals security. Let's just be real. And it's also the number 2 reason for divorce. So it is necessary, and it has a lot to do with the longevity of your marriage. But if that's just solely what you're looking for, then I mean, you might want to reevaluate. So when I do talk to my clients, I strip down a lot of that stuff, and I start looking at the individual and themselves and build them up from a purpose perspective. And then you notice their lists will begin to switch up, or the things that they're looking for begin to switch up once they begin to look more inside of themselves and what value they have.
I do agree with the one thing is, and that's in my book too, No More Boyfriends, that if you look at a man's friends and his environment, you'll see who he really is. So for me, when I'm talking to my clients about dating, I tell them, look at their friends. A person can only be around what they can tolerate. So if his friends are liars, cheaters, or whatever, he's pretty much close to that. He couldn't entertain that or be around that if that wasn't him. So if you want to see a person or some of a person and you don't know exactly what you're looking for or looking at that point, look at his friends and see what kind of friends that he has. So I definitely agree with that. But you brought up something also, Elam. You were talking about money and sex exchange. Now, I bring that up because you were just saying, if I spend money, then you got to have sex. Or if she doesn't have sex, I can't spend money. And then you also said about the amount of money that's spent on women versus men when it comes to Mother's Day, Father's Day, and all of that. Do you think that plays a part in what we think the man's role is as far as him being the provider and a protector? So we're expecting to see, can he provide?
Absolutely. There is an inherent nature inside of a woman. The number one thing that women look for is security, right?
Yes.
And security back in the day was just like a hairy man. The reason why that was like a big thing, because back in the day, before now, but way back in the day, the more beastly and masculine that you are, you're able to go off and kill the deer, right? Bring the deer home, boom, slap it on the table, mama's home with the kids, right? Well, that's evolved over time into moving into finances, all right? And so there are some inherent traits that are inside of us, to the reason why that women look for that level of security, and that equals money these days. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with wanting somebody to be financially secure, but it's just that you have to be able to also maintain your area as well. And if you're walking inside of your purpose versus you just want to be a trophy chick, or to sit at home and just I mean, even if you want to be a housewife, I get it, but you get what you give, right? And if you're going after somebody from a superficial perspective, then you're most likely going to pull in that type of person as well. So you just have to be cautious and balance between wanting somebody to be financially secure versus just going after a wealthy person just because, you know, it's more for the gram or for something like that. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does. Fredrick, you're a dating single man. How do you handle money and sex? Period. How do you handle spending your money and equating it to the sex? Tell me how you handle that.
They separate. Separate. Like I understand that what he just said about women and security. I'm gonna double down on that. I think that's all people's main goal. A lot of men have a hard time articulating that, but we want a security as well. However you form that, whether it's to secure us confidently, or put us on this masculine like agenda or schedule, or whatever. We all want security. As far as handling my finances for sex, I don't even know how to answer that question because it sounds like prostitution.
Really, it does.
Right, because we just said, hey, money. If you don't spend this amount of money, I'm not having sex, or I'm not spending this money.
I don't attract them type of women. I don't attract them type of women. Is what I'm saying. Like I'm big on energies. I think he said something that was very important. If you put out that type of superficial like vibe that you're looking for, that's most likely what you're gonna attract. Mm-hmm. I don't do that. Like I don't even want like. And I know I messed around with the booty, and I'm dead ass serious about the booty. I want the booty.
That's all right, Fred. That's all right, Fred.
But it always has started with the confidence and the intelligence. So just by diving there in that direction first, I don't run across. And if I do, I have this energy about me that propels that. I don't even have to deal with that. A woman coming to me looking for some money, she just gonna get turned off. And it ain't like you know what I'm saying? I'm good, but she's not. I guess it's something about her. No, she ain't finna get it out of me. Not coming at me like that. Gotcha. I'm not sure if I can even answer the question because I've never felt like it was an exchange where I took her to the movies, so now I know I'm finna get this, or I took her out to a nice dinner, I know I'm finna get this.
But that is a thing. That is a thing.
That is a real thing, and it happens every Valentine's Day. It happens.
I have a conversation.
Really?
Happens every Valentine's Day. I never understand it.
Yeah. I have a conversation. I've had a conversation. I'll spend my time. You'll be in my presence. We'll spend time with each other. Okay. And then now for whatever reason, here it comes. But I'm not gonna do that. I can't. I've never been to a strip club. I'm sorry.
So you're willing to spend a certain amount of money on a first date based on just that? Because some people are like, I'm not going to spend this amount of money or whatever, or I am going to spend this amount of money because I might get the sex. Like, does that determine? Because this is a real thing, and men have said it.
Yes.
In fact, what they said is, I'm not spending all that money because I don't know what I'm gonna get.
I've been in enough situations to know that that even as a man, and we're supposed to be the ones that the physical ones, right? That at a certain point, you can have sex with enough women that you're gonna feel empty afterwards. Either way it goes, you're gonna say, "Damn, I just spent $300-400, and why?" You be in it. You be dead off in it.
That's
like,
real.
why am I even doing it?
That's real. That's real though.
It's not even worth it. Like, what am I even doing this for? So when it comes to that, I'm not even. You talking about getting a dick? You ain't even getting a date if I can't find a certain type of thing that you have that's going to entertain me. As far as I don't know what I don't know. I can't.
I get it. And if you're just joining us, thank you for being here. This is the conversation. Again, share. This conversation is getting good, baby. It's getting good. We appreciate you guys tuning in. It's a conversation with cocktails. We're drinking, having a good conversation, having a good time. And I want you to share this because we've got some good information that's coming through. And I don't want you to miss it. And I don't want your friends to miss it. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit. And I'm going to go to you, Christal, because I want to talk about, is there a difference between the list and standards? And are we getting the two a little muddled? And then after you answer, I want you to touch on it as well, Bo.
I think that people do get the two confused. That's a very good question, because standards are, like I said, character, love languages. Now, I don't think that everybody has to. You don't have to know all that stuff up front. I think people as grown adults, you have to know how to communicate. If you can learn how to communicate, you can teach that person how to love you. And they have to be ready. They have to be open and ready emotionally and able to put in the work. They have to understand that relationships are work. And so I think that's really standards, is like, someone that is a solid person, great character, their personality meshes with you, that type of thing. We can't compromise on that. Now, right. The list could be physical characteristics, but I'm gonna be honest, for me, and I think there are other people that are like me, there are certain things that I'm attracted to and certain things that I'm not physically. Mm-hmm. And when I've tried to make myself date, because I heard dating here in Atlanta, you hear so many things. Some of my guy friends, Christal, you're probably, excluding a lot of guys because you're not physically attracted to this or that. So what I did is I tried to date those guys that I was not physically attracted to. Now keep in mind, I've never heard a guy say, I'm going to date a girl I'm not attracted to. I've never.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely.
Never have I heard them do this experiment. Yeah. I did it. It was not, I chose to do it, and I was miserable. I was miserable. He doesn't have to be, Morris Chestnut or Tyson Beckford, but it needs to be someone that I am attracted to. And that's important. I think it's important for both sides. There's nothing wrong with, saying I want a big booty or a woman saying I want a certain look. There's nothing wrong with that because we are sexual beings. And again, men don't do that. Whenever I would talk to guys about that, they'd be like, why would you go out with someone you're not attracted to? That's weird. Like, who does that? So I think everybody's attracted to different things. So I think you have to have a real conversation with yourself and see what's important for you. Not what's important for me may not be important to my girlfriends. What's important to me may not be important to my mother. But for me, what I'm physically attracted to, and then also what standards am I looking for? What lifestyle do I want? If I want a lifestyle where I'm jet setting across the world constantly, it doesn't make sense for me to date a guy that, has certain limitations. It probably is not going to work. That's not a knock towards him or me, both great people, but it's just not a good fit. So I think people have to really be honest with themselves. And I think finding your understanding yourself and knowing your own purpose is a big part of that, because you cannot try to force something. Whenever you're trying to force it, I have a girlfriend that will always tell me, if you're trying to force it, it's not right.
It's not it.
Not right.
Well, tell me, what do you think?
Keep your list. Just make sure that your list is a solid, real list. Right. And if it's too many superficial things on there, you may want to check yourself. But if you're in your purpose, you won't have those problems. If you know yourself and what really makes you happy, and you're not trying to cater to the gram and try to keep up with the Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? If you really know who you are, I think your list will trim itself, and it will be the important things, and you will keep your standards. And there's nothing wrong with waiting on the real thing.
Bo, talk to me about standards and settling.
The crazy thing is, Christal just basically said everything I would say. Mm-hmm. I agree with her 100%. So I don't even know how to follow back up with that, because I would be repeating everything she just said. Know your list, understand this list, be realistic within your list. Point blank, period. And then, I don't know what else to say behind what she said. She hit every nail on the head perfectly.
And I think y'all owe it to yourselves to respect that list. Like, if you just stick to that list and stick to those standards. If you don't, you're disrespecting yourself.
Right.
What
about this thing? So what about this thing where, for women, and Bo, I want you to start first. What about this thing, that the saying that your aunt, or back in the day, your grandma used to say, that women need to date a man that loves them more than she loves them. So the man needs to love her more than she loves them. And sometimes it may be settling for something, because she can fall in love with him, but he needs to be more attracted and more in love with her. Tell me about how you feel about that, and is there any truth to it at all?
I was taught that growing up. I was taught that, and I still believe that to this day. I told that to my daughter. And my nieces, when they're older, I will tell them the same thing. I definitely feel like the man should be more in love with the woman than the woman with the man. We are emotional. We love instantly. I feel like we fall in love quicker than men do. That's just how I feel. And I feel like if that man falls in love with you first, And I feel like, in a sense, he knows you're the one. If that's going on, then he's going to protect you. He's going to be there for you. He's going to care for you. And so to me, it only makes sense for those reasons. I don't know about anybody else, but I really feel like my husband, I definitely feel like I love him. Don't get me wrong. He's listening. I love him with all my heart and soul. But I do know, and honey, don't be mad, but I do know he loves me a lot. He loves me way more than me. And it's with the things he do, not and the things he show. And it's not by buying me stuff. It's the corny little stuff that he do. I wouldn't even necessarily do to think of. And to me, I know that, oh gosh, this man gotta really love me way more than I love him, in a sense. If that makes sense, because of the things that he does around here, not just cleaning the house. If he's doing some work, I'm implementing into his work. He's doing basketball, I'm in the basketball stuff. So I was brought up that way. I believe that. I think it makes for a better relationship. If that man loves you more than you love him, he's gonna go out of his way to protect you, care for you, try not to ever hurt you. And that's just what I have in mind. That's what I have in mind.
Elam, speak to that, because your book is Understanding the Man. Speak to that. Let me know how that is. What's that?
It's gonna be good.
I don't know what no disrespect or whatever. If that's what works inside of your marriage, absolutely fantastic, right? If that's what works.
It does.
I would just say that would be one of the worst things for women today to follow, because there's inside of that, if you're thinking that a man has to love you more than you love him in order for him to provide that security, protect, I would be in complete disagreement, not only as being a husband, but pretty much almost everybody else that I know. I think that now, is there the real 50-50? That's really not a case. If they happen to love you, I just, it's so much to unpack in this, because how do you know? Is there like a test that you take?
Yeah, you can tell. As women,
like your love is a 9.
No. As women, we can tell how much a man loves us.
Yes,
we really can. We know by the way they react.
Right.
We can really tell. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, but everybody's okay. I understand the actions and all that. So you're saying that you just line up the list of actions and say,
no. It has to be a man that is willing. See, this is the thing, and I think this is the science behind what all of our grandparents and aunties told us. Most of the time, there are not very many women that men are willing to just adore, right? There's not. There are usually, a man has 1 or 2 women that he is willing to, I don't want to say make himself, like he's willing to show his emotion for her. If you are not that woman to that man, you need to move on. And I believe that. I don't necessarily know if it's him loving her more. I just think it's not in a man's nature to be super, super, super public and showing, and just not to have boundaries.
But that comes up, but that stems off of social norms, though, because men were not taught to really communicate. So on average, because of that, and you could just absolutely adore and love the person, but because unfortunately, we were taught to be built for tough and don't cry and don't show emotion our whole life. Then we meet you, and we're trying to process how to do what we've been taught most of our lives not to do. So I don't think that has anything to do.
I'm telling you, you can have a man that's built for tough, and T and Bo, you can let me know if I'm wrong. He can be built for tough, all that, but for one woman, he'll figure out how to let go of that. Exactly. So I think that I hear you, and yes, I understand masculinity and all that, but there is always one woman or 2. I don't know. It's not very good that man is willing to let that stuff go for. We've all had that experience, and where this is totally out of character for him. Right. That is the woman that he really wants. Men figure it out. I tell my girlfriends all the time, if you don't know if he likes you, he don't. I'm not saying that he doesn't care about you. He's trying to figure it out. But when they really want one, they figure it out. And it's undeniable. And that's the one that you want to give your heart to, because he's going to take care of it. The one that can't really come off his pedestal for you and can't really let his guard down, he don't want you like that.
The only reason why I have to disagree with that is because I do work inside of the coaching space. Nothing against from what you know, but I'm just saying from research that I have of clients right now, I have plenty of clients that are in their 50s, in their late 40s. They absolutely love their wives, but they've struggled with how to communicate that. So does that mean that that's not his one? Based upon your premise, you would say that, oh, she just needs to leave him because he doesn't really love her.
No.
Based upon her premise, what she said, based upon what she said.
No, that's not. I don't think that's what she was saying. What I think she was saying is that there's ways that, and we're not, because we're talking about a difference within a marriage and dating and getting to know somebody. So within the marriage, there's going to be some communication breakdowns and some things that's going to happen just genuinely in a marriage. But we're talking about pre-marriage. We're talking about who we should marry and the things we should look for in a person that we should marry. So I don't feel like that we should marry. I don't think that we should marry somebody that he's struggling to understand if he loves us or not. When a man, you as a man, when you know if you love someone, if you want to make that person that one, even if you can't communicate it properly or haven't found out how to communicate it, you definitely let them know that, babe, I really do want this and I want this, in a way that she has no doubts. Even if she has to come and have a conversation with you, men will let you know, even if it's not verbatim, that you are the one. So I think it's a difference when you talk about being within the marriage, and then
marriage only accentuates what was already existing in the dating phase, though. That's the only thing that marriage does. It puts a spotlight on what already really existed in the dating phase.
I don't agree with that. Disagree.
Okay.
The only reason why I'm gonna say why I don't agree with that, because when you're dating, you're actually dating to find out if this person is somebody you would go into the marriage stage with. So when you're dating, you're not going to really just settle down, or I don't think you should just settle down with somebody that you're having questions about, even in the dating stage. You already know if you're questioning some things about this person in the dating stage, this is probably not a person you need to be taken seriously.
But the dating stage can be great. And then the marriage, I was married for 11 years, together with him for 13. What we went through dating early on had nothing to do with after you add the stress of children and bills and getting laid off your job. Like, that's a total different dynamic, right? So yes, you don't want to be with someone on the surface that doesn't respect you and all that. But I'm saying you can be a couple totally in love. Once you add the dynamic of marriage and responsibility and building that, it's a total different dynamic. And so you have to learn skills to work through that. I'm just speaking as a woman and what I've experienced and what I've seen, and dating only. I'm not talking about marriage, because in marriage, I think all couples should do therapy, period. But
absolutely, I agree. Absolutely.
If a man sees a woman and he really wants that woman, men have been known to do amazing things when they really want that woman. And I don't think there's anything wrong as a woman with being patient enough to wait for the man that shows you that.
Exactly. Go ahead. No, Fredrick, go ahead, huh? Go ahead.
Is that what the because I'm trying to listen for the interpretation of the saying, which is our grandparents or your grandparents and aunties said, look for someone who loves you more than you love them. That's the one. So, but to interpret that into our ears is basically saying, just look for somebody who's going to go above and beyond for you. Is that what y'all saying?
At least let us know that we don't have to question what they feel about us. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be with anyone that I have to question how you feel about me. If I've got to question that and I'm still not understanding, I don't have any understanding of how you feel and where I fit, I don't believe that I should continue to take you seriously.
So even though that method isn't fail-proof, of course we know it's not fail-proof. What you guys are looking for is a higher percentage of someone securing you guys. It comes back down to security. You know, if this guy loves me more than I love him, the chances of him hurting me are going to be very slim.
Well, he sets the tone for that, right? So a lot of times women, especially now, are chasing, and a guy does a little bit and they respond. That man, if he really lets you know, above and beyond is good, but he should be the one to set that. It doesn't have anything to do with how you are. He lets you know I want to be with you. This is what I'm doing. This is what I want. When he comes out and says that and has nothing to do with what you're giving to him, that's the one that really, really sees you. Because men don't, in my opinion, men are much more rational. They don't just do that on a whim. When they chase a woman like that, it's because they see something in her they don't see in other people. It's not just about her being pretty. It's really something about her that connects with his spirit. And he's okay with letting her know his emotions before he safely secured her. Like, it just is a total different thing. And until you experience that, you may not know what it is. But once you get it, you'll be like, okay, that one really cares about me.
The only thing I would throw in that is that with communication being the number 3 reason for a divorce inside of a society that has a 50% divorce rate, it's clear that a lot of people are getting married, and really communication and infidelity bounce back and forth between the number 1 and the number 3 reason for divorce. So if communication is at the top of the list, and we got a lot of people getting married off of just looking at love, right, and the communication was not really looked at, it's clear that there's a lot of men. I'm not, Christal, I understand you're what you walk through, totally respect that. I'm saying that out here, not only from a research perspective, but then also just being a man and knowing some of the struggles that have happened with communication. And when I first got married, I felt this thing called love, and I was like, what is this? Like, I don't even understand what I'm doing, right? And there was a lot of humps and bumps and things that I didn't do. And so it just doesn't coincide with the stats that exist. Of what's really happening out here. The communication gaps are causing people to get divorced. That is normally exposed in the dating phase. But because the honeymoon phase exists when you're dating, whereas you miss a lot of things because you got the butterflies in your stomach and all that good stuff going on, we unfortunately miss some of the things that we should have seen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's for me when I'm teaching, is the accountability part of it all. And I know people are like, you can't control your heart, you can't control how you feel. Well, somewhere you've got to find a balance. You can't let your emotions be what guide you, especially in the dating phase. You have to bring some logic to that, and because that's what's going to bring in that accountability to yourself. So as much as the butterflies feel good and the honeymoon phase feel good, and you just want to throw all your emotions all over the place because you feel good at that moment, somewhere we've got to learn how to check our emotions and quit saying that we can't help how we feel, because actually you can. But that's on you, because you should have some type of logic that helps guide you through that choice, like it guides you in the choice when you're buying anything, when you're purchasing a car, when you're making any type of major choices. We have to learn how to have that balance between our logic and our heart. It doesn't belong. I'm a believer that love and all that emotion doesn't belong in the dating phase when you're dating to find out. You need to apply that as you find out if you can trust and be vulnerable with this person. So we're back. It's the conversation, you guys. Thank you for joining us. Again, we're wrapping, but I still have a couple more questions for this panel. We're talking the conversation with cocktails. We're having a good conversation. I'm loving where we're going with this. But I got to bring up something that's a little controversial now, because it's a question for everybody. It's a question that women ask. It's a question that men really struggle with. And that is, remember the song "No Romance Without Finance"? Remember that? Y'all remember that? Mm-hmm. Right. So my question is, for men and women, should you be dating broke? If you're struggling with should you be dating while you're broke?
No. It's a responsibility.
Not nobody.
Well, women shouldn't go out with men if they broke. Men
come on.
Men gonna go out
Fred. I was just opening my mouth to say it. Yes, sir.
Both sides. Like, I'm not even. I can't even. I know I'm wired different. I'm probably gonna be reaching out to you, Elam, because I need some help. But I can't even get an erection if I'm broke. I'm just not gonna do it.
That's real.
I can make some money. What am I doing with a hard dick?
And really, it's a responsibility that comes with dating, period. So, and part of that is finances. And so, and I even now, even inside of this pandemic, whereas maybe you can't go out as much, guess what? Your responsibility now is being creative.
Right.
Finding creative ways of spending time or, kicking it with that person. So the responsibility that comes with this, men and women, if that is you broke, sit down. Okay, get that money together and then come back out here. We'll wait. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of them out there.
Trust
But
me.
sit on down with that.
Keep yourself together. I think as a woman, it's not even about if your finances are not in order, you're not at peace.
Right,
At least
that's it.
I'm not.
Absolutely.
So I can't be my best. I can't relax, enjoy, show a man the best of Christal, because Christal isn't together. And so I will absolutely, when I was dating, I absolutely would sit down. If I was trying to figure out my finances, or there were challenges, even not even just with finances, but even like when you're going through something really difficult.
Right.
Dating is not the place to air your emotional trauma out. So I remember when I was trying to figure out how to get my son my son had scholarship. I had to get a certain amount of money to send him to college, and I was stressed. And I realized I can't date right now because my focus is on this, and this is not giving someone else the best experience with me. So let me just take a break until I'm in a great place for Christal. And doing that helped me a lot. But if my money is not right, no, I'm not asking him for money, but it's just like, I'm not really my best self. So I'd rather take the best version, the peaceful version of Christal into a new, possible dating situation, because otherwise I'm not showing up with my best self.
Right.
I coached some boys for 8 years, AAU for 8 years, right? And I used to always tell them this before we went on trips, we went to play. I said, hey, you're either finna get exposure or you finna expose yourself. There's a difference. And I think that's sometimes what we do when we go out here and we date immaturely or prematurely, I should say. We end up exposing ourselves rather than getting exposure, that positive exposure we want. We put a spotlight on all our flaws.
Mm. Yeah, it's definitely a struggle. Like I agree with you, Christal. I don't want to date when I don't have money. It's the worst. It's the worst dating experience, and it's not because I don't want to have this expectation of him always giving me money or always feel like he needs to pay. I want to make sure that I have everything that I need, and I can't be my best self, like you said, if I don't have what I need. So I need to handle my business, and women need to understand you need to handle your business first. If this has nothing to do with a man wanting to make sure that what kind of coin you bring in and what you got and all that, because women seem to think that that's the case with them getting themselves together. Nobody wants anybody that ain't got their shit together. Can we be clear about that? Nobody, whether it's a man or a woman, we don't want that, because they're going to bring that to you and expect you to fix it. So I'm with you, Christal. I can't do it when I don't have. I withdraw. I can't give you everything about me if I'm not straight. I can't do it.
I remember when I was dating and I didn't have no money. I was depressed.
Yeah.
This guy, I could see his face. He wanted to go out with me all the time, and I just couldn't do it. I mean, I had just moved somewhere, and I was working in the mall, and my thing came through yet or whatever. And I was like, look, I got enough to pay my rent. But for me, it was like, if I'm out and something happened, if the date don't go well and I ain't got a dime to my name, or I got like $1 and that's it, what am I going to do? Like, who am I going to call? How am I going to get home? That's when the payphones used to be everywhere back then. And so, no, I could never, ever do it. I even have a problem with, being married, even though my husband is financially successful, whatever, and so am I. I'm financially successful in my own right, but it still feels weird to accept things from him. Even to this day, I like to do my own. I like to have my own money. I want to buy my own things. I want to be able to buy him things when I want to buy.
Yeah.
I love that security. But back in the day, I went through a depression not having my own money, and there's always eligible guys, and I guess I could have been thinking, hey, like these girls are today, but I can honestly say that's never been my mindset. It wasn't, I've never been materialistic. I never have been, and my husband will tell you that today. I'm still not. I like nice things, don't get it twisted. However, back then, I was never, ever looking for the guy with all the money to take care of me. I always have been independent, so I wanted money for myself to do it myself. But that depression hit real hard for me, and I couldn't go out with him. And we basically did talking more after that, just because I needed to feel secure in me, and it was more so, if something happened, what I'm gonna do? So
right. I get it. This is my, and y'all, I could have this conversation all day. Like I could talk all night because I love it. This is what I do. And for me, getting good information, we know there's all type of relationship people out there and giving all this advice. But to me, it's important to give good advice that actually helps people in their dating situation, in their marriage situation. And so this I could do all night long. I won't because I know we all got stuff to do and we'll just revisit it again. But I did want to get this one last question in, and it's going to be, I'm going to ask it for the same sex. So I want the men, because what everybody wants to know, especially for women, what are men looking for? Okay. So, and what, and for women, what are women looking for? So
apparently,
so fellas, if you could tell the women what you're looking for, not me telling what you're looking for, or what we should be looking for in you, better yet. If we want a good man, what should we be looking for in you? Crickets.
What should she be looking for? What should she be looking for in me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't speak for every man. I always start by saying that. But for me, a lot of people.
And a good man, if you were talking to your sister, your friend, what would you tell her to look for in a man?
Okay. I would tell her to look for it wouldn't be, it would have to be, it couldn't be the material things for sure. It would definitely have to be his morals, his standards, the things, his thought process. Is he a caring person? One thing that I ask a lot of people upon meeting them is, if you had all of your financial situations taken care of, what would you do with the time? You don't have to work a day in your life. Everything you do now, you good. What would you do? And I listen for some key things. One of them is, would you spend that time helping other people? So that's a big thing for me. Humanity with those people. If I ask a woman that question and she doesn't know how, and she answers saying, I'll probably open up something to help these little girls do this and do that, I'm like, okay, all right. And so I think that's something that I would tell my daughter, I would tell a niece or a sister of mine, to look for not just the intangible things, but the moral things, the things that line up with your moral values. That's very important. The lines that you wouldn't cross. Find those things in that person. Everything else is subjective and
yeah, just to echo that, I think that there isn't a silver bullet when it comes to what men are looking for. It's kind of like dating is just like the same thing. It's kind of like losing weight, right? There's like 1,000 different ways, from the keto to Weight Watchers to Orange Theory to whatever, right? So there's not just one thing. And so unshameless plug in my book, Understanding a Man, Empowering Women with Tools for Lasting Relationships. What I did was I interviewed 24 men about various topics of the heart, things that they would want their daughters to know to empower her with a stronger relationship. And so chapter 4 is, do you see me? And in that chapter, I only took the interviews from the single men, because they're the ones that are still out here speaking to the women who are still wanting somebody. And so, there's 4 different phases that you really go through from a dating perspective. And I say that in conjunction with your question, the first thing that I always share with ladies, that understand who you are and what direction, what is your purpose, and which direction you want to go in. Because once you do that, now you start having what your expectations are and your non-negotiables, even just for yourself. So now you're getting a better understanding of yourself. Now, as you get out there and start dating from, collecting data, I'm more like to say, got that from my homegirl, Aisha Goodall, who just put out a book, Dating the Single Mom. And so, you're paying attention to the guy, right? Pay attention to his world. It's phase 2. So phase 1, understand who you are, ladies. Then here comes the silver bullet. Understand you first, okay, and what you want. Number 2, collect data. Pay attention to his world, okay, and what he's doing, because he's out there walking in his purpose. If you're with somebody who's not walking in purpose, obviously you need to keep on moving. So this is still silver bullet now. Go for somebody who's walking in their purpose. Now, phase 3, whatever you see, believe it.
Believe it. Okay, that's my thing.
Believe it. Okay, because you know what you want, You're paying attention to his world and trying to insert yourself gracefully into his world. Now you see it, believe it. This is still silver bullet, right? So it's going to be, this is why it's different for different people, but the overall structure is the same. So now believe it, and now make a decision to either stay in or get out. Right. And the power of discernment that exists inside of women, if they could just listen to that spider sense, it tells you 2, 3, 4 weeks into the conversation, the spider sense, they start tingling. Maybe a couple of months, maybe a month. Now, it starts tingling, and what you do, you stay on in there because his teeth are nice, because you're having sex and you're having orgasms, which is going to make you dickmatized, which is a whole other conversation. So so you're not paying attention to these things, and now you can get out in month 2 versus year 2 or year 20. Okay, so the silver bullet is know you and pay attention and make a decision quickly.
Right. Listen, honey.
I want to add on something he said. I want to add on one more thing because that made me think. Try to find a way, ladies. To look for, and that what I would tell is to try to find a way to tap into his legacy. Try to find a way to ask him what his legacy is. I think you get a lot out of that. If you can find out what a man's legacy is and what he plans to leave this earth, if he's that, and you're talking about men who are self-aware, men who know themselves, men who have found out. They're complete already, and that's another thing. I believe I'm going to my relationship complete. That's why I can move around the way I move around, because I'm already complete. No one person is going to complete me. So find out what that man's legacy is, and if you can actually contribute to, or you're comfortable being within that legacy. If you don't see that, don't force it. Keep it moving.
I like it a lot. Okay, Christal, Bo, the same thing. What would you tell a man to be looking for in a woman?
Yeah, we crazy.
Yikes. I think it's so weird because I know, I'm a mom, and I'm also, like I said, I have a lot of guy friends, and I know that, a lot of times visual is really important, to men to start off, depending on where they are in life. I know some men are, like you said, it's not a specific thing for everybody, but I am saying, if you want a woman that truly cares about you, now I'm not talking about the guys that want an arm piece or a trophy, because they don't need help. That list is very obvious. And I don't mean to hurt my sisters on this, but I have to be honest. Don't go for someone that you can pull with your material things, right? Look for someone that is interested in you, listens to you without all that extra. Because I say that if you can have fun with a girl and she's cool just hanging out with you on the sofa at home, not having sex, not just hanging out the two of you, and she can enjoy your company doing that. Not when you take her to the fancy places and buy her the fancy things, but if she can laugh with you, you guys can have a really good time together doing nothing, and she is genuinely interested in what you have to say. That shows that's a woman that can support you and wants to support you. Don't go for the woman that looks amazing and you have to do all this stuff to get her. But then when you get her, she doesn't really want you. She really wanted those things. And that happens a whole lot. And then there's a woman that wants you because you have the things. And so it's more like a check box, Pay attention to her conversation. Is she listening to you? Is she paying attention? Does she show genuine interest in you without the bells and whistles?
Right.
And I think that's the best advice I could give to my son, and I give to male friends. I know for me, I went to 100 Black Men event one with a friend one night, and this woman stood up and she was talking about her husband, and she had so much respect for him. You could just tell the way she was talking about him. I was like, I want to feel that way about whoever I'm with. I want it to be someone that I have that type of ultimate respect for. And I saw the way other people stood up and gave her a clap, but that was a beautiful thing. I think for me, it's important to be with a man that you genuinely respect who he is. I like the way he is with his family, his children, his friends. I respect the man that he is. And that way I can get behind and support him and let him lead and do his thing. And I got him because I know that he's a man of character, and there's a respect level there. From the way he talks to the waitress to the way he talks to good friends of his, the advice he gives. If I'm proud of that, then I know that that's a man that I can totally support, nurture, cook his food, do whatever he needs to do, because
That's right.
that. So
Give it all to him. That's
Yeah.
right. Bo, what about you?
I agree with her 100%. I tell my sons the same thing. Pay attention to what the woman says. I feel like it doesn't take 4 to 2 weeks for you to figure out who a person really is. To me, I feel like you see that on the first date. If she's sitting up there talking about, I tell them to listen. And to me, there's a difference between listening and hearing people. I hear my husband in there, but I'm not paying attention. I'm listening to y'all, and I can repeat some of the stuff you are saying. And so I teach them to listen to not only just what people are saying to you and women. And so if a girl is sitting up here telling you a story about her homegirl smashing up a boy's tires, you best believe she was right there smashing up the tires too.
Right.
So that's your key, to be like, hey, I don't know if I want to deal with you like that. People tell on themselves the first day you meet them. If they feel comfortable, they're going to run their damn mouths about everything. And then they'll come back and say, well, she did it, and I was just standing there. But you were standing there, okay? You were there. So pay attention.
No was a reason.
Listen to what I just tell them to pay attention to women and listen to what they say, and then you'll be able to figure out right then and there if she's someone you want to continue to have that relationship with. But she already told you how she get down. So when you all get closer and then you're further in a relationship and you come back to mommy and say, mommy, she did this. Well, baby, she already told you, but you pacified the situation because you thought she was cute with a big booty,
That big booty get them every time, honey.
Booty will get you all the time.
Don't worry about it, Fred. Keep that in there, Fred. Keep that in there.
I'm staying grounded.
So just pay attention to what we say. Listen to us, and I think then you can eliminate, this long-going relationship with them. And I believe within the first time you meet a person, I carry that with me within my business. People talk. People tell you what it is they really about, even in business. And so that's how I know to keep them here, there, or out of here. You understand?
Now you keep them talking. If you keep letting them get engaged and keep them talking, they'll tell you a whole lot about what you need to know about them. That's absolutely the truth.
Everybody I've met has told me, and I don't know if they're just so comfortable with me, but people like to tell me everything.
Yep.
The first day I'm, conversing with them. It's a whole conversation about everything. And that's even for me with friends. And I know you can't ever come over to my house or you over here, but not there. And I hate to categorize people like that, but you have to, just for your own peace and sanity with certain people, so you don't have to go through life ups and downs with certain people. You can eliminate all of that in the first time meeting them. So to guys, pay attention to us.
You guys, listen, you guys have given me, not just me, but you've given our listeners so much to take with them when they're talking about dating, even in relationships, because I think even in relationships, these people they keep this list going on, and they think that if it doesn't meet the requirements in their dating phase, and hopefully if they get in a relationship with them, that these things about a person will change, and it doesn't. We need to understand what a person shows you is who they are. It doesn't change. It just magnifies the more you get into a relationship and deeper committed to a person. So I thank you guys for bringing awareness to what we need to be looking for in the list, awareness about what our standards should look like, and what we should be looking for in the people that we're dating. And I brought you guys on because I knew y'all was going to give me the good shit it's raw and uncut, and I really appreciate it. So thank you for joining me. I want you guys, each one of you, I'm going to start with you, Bo. Tell me of your social media and where people can find you.
Okay, I am a one-stop shop on social media. I am a Miss Bo Talley, spelled IAMMSBOTALLEY. And then my websites are BoFit, which is Bo, B-O, Fit, with 2 T's, F-I-T-T. And then Balling for Lupus and Bo Talley. So I have 3 websites for all my businesses. But I'm there, Instagram. I think I'm on Facebook, TikTok, Snap, whatever my publicist got me on, aka my son. That's what I'm on.
You everywhere, honey. You everywhere. Thank you so much. Christal, where can we find you? Everywhere too?
Well, not everywhere, but I'm at Enchanted PR on Instagram and Twitter. But most importantly, I'm so excited about my YouTube channel. I have interviews for Rolling Out. We talk to celebrities. We do a lot of relationship talk. Yeah. We actually have a conversation we did, the two of us, on Ready to Love. It's on my YouTube channel, which is Enchanted PR Online on YouTube. But otherwise, you can catch me at Enchanted PR.
I love talking relationships with Christal. We really get into it. We do for real. Elam, where can everybody find you?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much for just even having me on this platform this evening, T. You know, we go way back.
Yeah.
And Christal, I really enjoyed the information that you shared. Bo as well, and Fred. I don't care what they say. You can keep that booty part in there, man. Don't let them stop you. All right. So you can follow me on Instagram at Elam B King. I have my Facebook page as well, Understanding a Man Facebook page, also Understanding a Man on YouTube as well. And you can always find out whatever I have going on. You can go to understandingaman.com. And not only, you can go on and click on the book while you're on there, going to make that purchase real quick. It's also available on Amazon and audiobook as well. And stay tuned. I actually do have my next book that's coming out is Understanding a Man, Memoirs of a Father to His Son. And also we have our online pre-marriage course that's going to be coming out next month called Are You Ready? How about it? All right. And then, of course, coming up in June, we have our men's conference that's going to be located here in Atlanta, Georgia. So thank you again so much for just allowing me to share.
Of course, all the time, anytime. I love it. Love it when you come on. And Fredrick, tell us about where we can find you. And we're waiting for this. And don't forget to tell us about this Third Date app now.
Well, first, giving up to God, who was the head of my life.
Okay.
No, thank you. First and foremost, thank you for inviting me to this panel. The information that each of you have given, I've been taking it in and just soaking it in myself. And I'm just elated, to be here. But you can find me at King6 KYNGSYX is my Instagram handle. My website is buffingtoneffect.com, BUFFINGTON EFFECT.com. There you'll be able to find everything I do, from the marketing and the branding to the clothing line to the dating app that we're going to talk about. I do have a book out right now called 90-Day Probation. And this is a story based loosely on my life about how I had to deal with ADHD and how it affected my relationships, definitely the personal relationships that I've had. The app that you've been talking about is called Third Date, and it's a relationship stimulating or communication stimulating app. People are going to classify it as a dating app. That's fine. Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, all those apps are great for meeting people. But when it comes down to really getting to the surface, deep level conversations, Elam said it best, communication flirts with the number one reason for divorce. Is because of that lack. And particularly within our community, we have, it's a taboo conversation when we're talking about sex, spirituality, family, money, things of that nature. So we put together hundreds of questions that are charismatic, that are funny, to jumpstart those conversations. So a question could be as simple as you invite YSO over, and that's your significant other. You only have time to clean one room in the house. Which room you clean? The living room, kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, right? You send that question via app to the person. They answer. You don't see it. You answer. You guess what you think they're going to answer. Then the game reveals it to you both. Now you instantly have a conversation. Nice. They get as intense as you send YSO a text, say, I'm going to break you off all night long. What you really mean is 15 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, 4 hours. Like, you can have those tough conversations. So if your girl want 4 hours, but you only been sliding with 15, maybe y'all can be and she won't be looking for Tyrone later on down the street. You see what I'm saying? So you have this app is definitely it's going to be fun, but I definitely want people not to get lost in the sauce of it and pull out that gold and saying, hey, I'm going to create a communication channel or foundation that's so strong that we can talk about and make it through anything. And now because our marriage is successful, our kids will be successful, the business that we start will be successful, and etc. So.
And thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you all. That's my goal too. This is not about this. I know I can get raw and nasty and say a whole lot of different stuff that's controversial. I can't even talk, but I'm not. It's really about me helping people and helping us have the relationships that we need to have so that we can have the families that we need to have, so we have the communities that we need to have. Our community is getting so lost, and we're losing. We're not learning how to love each other completely and correctly, which is breaking down everything around us. And we're not benefiting health-wise, financially. We're not getting anything. And the first love is going to be from ourselves, but the love that we also give to each other is going to make a big difference in the way our communities look. So I appreciate you guys for coming. I thank you guys for spending your time with me. And I just want to applaud you and let you applaud yourself and say thank you again. I can't say thank you enough. So make sure you follow these guys and check them out. They're amazing people. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Okay, can I do a shameless plug real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay, Elam and Christal and Fredrick, I don't know if you got a girl or not, but I started my own lipstick line and I need y'all to support a girl.
Yes, congratulations.
Okay.
Get that lipstick.
I have 2 colors out right now, maybe a third, and a lip gloss. So
Nice.
I want to share that with y'all. It's on my website, my Instagram page. So if your ladies like lipstick, support a girl.
Absolutely. We'll do.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks, T. Marie.
Thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in to the conversation. I know you had more questions, but I know you had a great time. So continue to watch. We will be bringing you the conversation every Thursday starting March the 4th. And from 8 to 9, I think depending, we're still trying to work on that time. 8 to 9:30, relationship conversations, relationship questions. We're going to hit the hard talks. We're going to actually have those questions that you are afraid to ask, or you don't know how to ask, or you need some help with. Well, you're going to be able to get that right here on the conversation. So get ready, because I'm bringing it, and we're going to be talking it up on the conversation. I'll probably be drinking, but you don't have to drink. But I'm going to help you get through it. So thank you so much. It's T. Marie, and I'll see you next time on The Conversation.